But on the Friday the 13th of all days in October, I got a phone call about 10 o'clock at night. My brother had a nightclub. My dad had opened up the nightclub, and then there was trouble down the road, and there was a guy getting picked on. My dad stepped in. My dad got beaten to death, and he got beaten to an inch of his life. And it was so savage that the fact that it wasn't just a beating. There was about 7 of them. They bit him across the face. It was just horrific. I was 21 years old. And to what I was faced with at that age of seeing what my dad went through, and he died of his injuries. He died of the injuries basically from all of the trauma that he received around the back of his head. I mean, I came from a sporting family actually. In 1902, my great-great-uncle was a world champion boxer. My uncle George Cohen, was part of the 1966 football team when they won the World Cup. And it skipped a generation to me to win the World Cup in 2003. And I'll tell you what, to be honest with you, we're not skillful sportsmen. And that's the truth. And I'll talk a bit more about that later. We just work bloody hard. And I had other difficulties that I'll share with you. I had to try and overcome in my career. And Clive Woodward showing round these young 2 lads. I didn't think anything of it, and as you would, you probably think they're prize winners. Our fitness trainer says it's time to get in the ice baths and all that kind of stuff. So I started to unchange. Don't worry, it's not too crude. But I started to unchange, tops off, pants down, and as men would appreciate in the room, you're running around for a couple of hours, you need to adjust yourself. And as I'm adjusting myself, I see these 2 pairs of feet arrive in front of me, and I'm thinking, oh shit, I've got to meet these 2 young lads completely naked, cupping my things, right? So I've got to get it over and done with. So as I stand up, I'm face to face with a young Prince Harry. And I've just gone, pleased to meet you. He shook my hand. I'm having a conversation with Claire Balding about this. He said, when do you come out, right? Do you come out at the beginning of your sport in a team that is maybe a little bit homophobic? Because we know we have casual homophobia, right? We hear it in our playing. I'm sure you guys hear it in your playground. I'm sure you may do something about it, or you may turn a blind eye. I don't know, because we don't necessarily teach that yet. But if you hear racism, you probably do something about it, right? So we're going to get to that point where we need to be addressing this casual homophobia. But I want to say how I got over and come to terms with being deaf playing. And it was basically, especially in a team environment, I felt that actually if I can't hear anyone, I was going to make them hear me. Right, so I commentated on everything I did, so which got me selected a hell of a lot more times when I played bad than it was just because I was a good player. So actually, I made sure that I knew everyone's position, what they were doing. So I'd talk them into position, I'd tell them where I am, and I'd organise the defence, because it doesn't matter what any level you play, communication is always king, and it isn't good, even at international rugby up here, or international sport, or with it down at school. No one bloody talks when you get tired. No one bloody talks when you're under pressure, right? So me would always talk.